22%. That's crazy. Yep. So earlier today there was a news about Palo Alto trying to acquire OKTA, but couldn't agree on a price. And here we have it. Revenue revenue is up 11%. Adjusted EPS up 15%, 105 compared to estimate 0.97. CRPO 2.59 billion, 14% up. Free cash flow 222 million compared to estimate of 162 million. So that's good. Fiscal year 2027 guidance revenue is estimated to be 3.22 to 3.23 billion. Earning per share 3.90 to 3.94. Operating income 830, beating estimate of 821. And free cash flow 910 to 930, beating estimate of 875. So these are very good numbers for OKTA. Q3 guide not so good, very close to estimate, 813 million to 817 million, barely beat estimate of 810. EPS 0.92 cents to 94 cents. So it's meeting estimates. Operating income 196 to 200. Estimate is 200. And free cash flow 175 to 185, which is not beating estimate. Is coming below estimates of 194 million. Other metrics: CRPO 259 billion, operating income 207, net income 194, and free cash flow, operating cash flow 234 million, up 40% year over year. Quick couple of comments. Success with our largest customer, and strong profitability and cash flow. Top line growth also benefited from strong contribution from our portfolio of new products led by OKTA Identity Governance. So, couple of what is this? So let's go to Charlie AI. Let's go to newsletter. Go to SaaSpocalypse. Quickly. So tier 5 is OKTA. OKTA is a functional infrastructure software. Falls in cybersecurity. So like I predicted, all these companies that fall within the tier 5 group of SaaS companies, they already did their thing. I bought OKTA back in April. I was up 64% before this earning, and is up another 22%. So let's see what it comes down to tomorrow. I already sold part of it because I felt like I made some money. I have a very small size now, but it's up. I'm not gonna sell it. Yeah, that's pretty good for me. If Palo Alto ends up acquiring them, that will be even better. because I own Palo Alto as well. So those shares will just convert to Palo Alto shares for me. So that's good. Um, yeah, like I said in this article, SaaSpocalypse was stupid. I don't know why people were selling. People are used to one way of doing things. The AI people, I would say AI labs, they are only offering, as far as I know, a couple of chat windows and some backend workflow that is not well integrated. We are actually going to talk about that with Salesforce coming up. They are not well integrated, and especially for security companies. Again, like people have to think about how these companies were going to dominate, right? For them to dominate all the SaaS companies, they have to go after all these verticals: security, um, data storage, workflow, performance software, design software. Like they had to build almost everything. And one thing is that even if the AI allows them to basically build software quicker, this is the thing with AI, right? Think of you having a PDF and or a book, and you haven't read the book, and you have to submit an assignment of or about questions that are in this book. You wouldn't even know, even with AI helping you, you wouldn't even know what question to ask because you haven't read the book. So they will still need software engineers to build all this. So they will have to have all the money in the world, all the software engineers in the world, and go after all these verticals one by one, which wasn't going to be possible. And if you go back, um, let's say a couple of months ago or a year ago, Sam Altman was saying something like, if we fail or we are slowed when it comes to improving the model intelligence, we are going to go after all the other verticals. And how did that work out? It failed miserably, right? It failed completely. They were not able to go other all the verticals. And when even they tried, like things with Sora, GPT Store, all these things, they didn't work out. And the reason why they didn't work out is because that is not their main domain. People have spent years, 20 years. Think about Salesforce. Salesforce has spent more than 20 years building that infrastructure, that SaaS, you know, um, enterprise system, a record system of record company. It took Salesforce about 20 years to build that and find all the edge cases. And because you think you have AI, it's going to build all that magically. There is tribal knowledge in Salesforce that nobody knows about, right? And it's passed from employee to employee. That's those are the real things. And you think companies that are relying on Salesforce are just going to switch from Salesforce overnight? This, again, is going to take time. I don't think these AI companies want to be system of record companies. This is not what they are good at. They are good at training models. They should stick to that. And this is what people didn't understand. They thought, AI will come and just disrupt these companies. Yeah, terrible. Like, right now, I own Salesforce, ServiceNow, which has done well, SAP, which has done well as well. Actually, let me look at my portfolio and see where I am exactly. Just give me a minute. I need to share this thing. All right, sorry it took a few minutes for me to be ready. So Salesforce, so far, I'm down about 1%. After hours, Salesforce is currently, let's see, Salesforce is currently 12, almost 13% up. So tomorrow I'll be about 12% up. Then we go to ServiceNow. Started buying a bit earlier as it was falling, so I'm up about 10%. And SAP bought a little in the around April as well. I'm up about 18%. Workday 32%. Viva so far about 40%. And after hours is up another 8%. So you can imagine Oracle. I didn't buy Oracle because of the exposure to AI data centers, too much debt. I didn't like that, so I didn't buy it. So I don't own that. Yeah, but could have just read this article in April and make some money. So OKTA did well. So Salesforce made an announcement. So they are doing something with Anthropic. Let's see what it is. Let's go to CNBC. Let's see. Here we go. Let's watch.
Trom Nguyen is a fighter. She grew up in public housing in Lawrence as an immigrant who fled authoritarian rule, so she won't let it happen here. Because we all should experience the American dream. That's why Trom Nguyen can win the fight for our democracy.
Joining us now to discuss the partnership is our own Jim Cramer, along with Dario Amodei, Anthropic CEO and co-founder, and Mark Benioff, chair and CEO of Salesforce. Jim, take it away.
Gentlemen, couldn't have really a more exciting combination. This is terrific, and I want to thank you both for being with us. Mark, I'm going to go right to you.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be here.
We're thrilled to be here, Jim.
Thanks for having us, Jim.
All right. Well, it's great to have Dario. I've not interviewed before. This is very exciting for me.
We're at the top of Salesforce
It's great
Tower.
to meet you, Jim.
Thank you, and I look forward to talking to you more, maybe next week.
One thing I gotta say, Dario has been humbled a little bit. You know, this guy will go on, TV and start saying, "Oh, everybody's gonna lose their job. Nobody's gonna get a job. And Claude is gonna, replace everything." And he has been humbled. Showing up along with Mark Benioff here, and believe me, I think this was an idea by Mark Benioff. Mark Benioff is a sales guy. All he's thinking about is sales, how he can spin things and look good in front of investors. So, and Dario basically didn't have a choice. Their company is going public. They are aiming to raise $100 billion at a $2 trillion valuation. Man, if that much money is involved, you have to do anything and everything to make sure it happens. So that's why we are here.
Dreamforce, I don't know. I want to start with Mark. Mark, I've been a customer of Salesforce for a long time. All I can tell you is that I always thought I knew how to query Salesforce. Why do I need Anthropic to help me query Salesforce?
But Jim, this is really the best of both worlds. This is the number one AI in the world, Anthropic, and the number one CRM, Salesforce, coming together for the first time in an incredibly powerful way to build a new product called CloudForce. And you're right, Jim. CloudForce gives you the ability to look at all of your Salesforce data, all of your data systems, all of your applications and what we call our semantic layers, all of our agents as well, and even building incredible new applications on top of this kind of stack. This idea that you can use CloudForce to not only query your systems, but build applications dynamically, it's really a first in the industry, Jim. We've never seen anything like it. It's completely exciting. I think that this is the way all enterprise systems are going to run in the future.
All right, so Dario, I think that the combination is terrific, but I also know when I go to my Agentforce page, I see OpenAI's there. I don't know how exclusive this is. I don't know what you get out of it. Tell me how this distinguishes you from other LLM models and why this is so exciting for you.
Well, look, our view is that Claude is the best model for integrating complex amounts of information. We've been using Salesforce and Claude within Anthropic. We're huge Salesforce customers, and as you can imagine, the pace of things at Anthropic is incredible, and we have to both manage individual accounts and.
Hey, by the way, the reason why my face is not showing is because I haven't set up that yet. So this is my first stream, so forgive me. I'll set it up in the next stream.
And we have to answer all these incredible strategic questions that change every time a new model and a new product comes out. And we've found that this combination product that we've built together is the most useful thing in accelerating it. Within Anthropic, for a long time, we've been accelerating the research teams within Claude. But this is the first time that we've really been able to incredibly accelerate our go-to-market efforts within Claude. And we want that for all the other enterprises. And me and Mark want to bring it together to everyone.
Oh, look, we see the numbers. We also see the tape underneath you, Salesforce, fantastic numbers. But I do want to of which we thought that you were going to destroy Mark. I know Mark has a big investment in you, but I was waiting for you to put him out of business. What do you think about the SaaSpocalypse thesis?
We're not in.
before we even get into the SaaSpocalypse thing that Jimmy is asking here, Salesforce, I think, has 3%, owns 3% of Anthropic or something like that, or has invested 300 million. I don't remember exactly the share that they own. Probably they are diluted by now, but they have invested some money in there.
Interest in destroying anyone. We think of this as a very positive sum thing, right?
So it's funny that he's saying it like this now, afterwards, where he has realized that, just having an LLM or an AI model is not enough to disrupt, incumbents, and now he has to partner with the system of records. I don't know. I just see it like it's fascinating, right? Like, this guy was like overconfident, not just about 6 months ago, he was like overconfident he was going to destroy all his companies. Salesforce lost a lot of value due to his rhetoric. And now, like, look at how Mark is looking at him, man.
That's the way markets work. We're creating new value here. And the question is just, it's not about destroying anyone. It's about how much of these enormous gains go to various people and various companies. And our philosophy always has been that we want to work with our customers. We want to empower our customers to share these gains with us.
Oh, man, like, Mark is like, yeah, come to Papa. Yes, come to Papa. That's what it feels like right now. He's like, come to Papa, Oh, this is hilarious. Look at the way Mark is looking at him like this little kid,
And so we've already worked with Salesforce in a number of ways. We're big users of Salesforce. Salesforce is big users of Claude Code, of Cowork, of other tools. We've put products like Claude Tag in Slack already, which is...
And this was the point where I noticed that they were coming into realization that they were not going to dominate these industries, but they were going to enhance them. And, there are a couple of things to look at, right? System of records. You don't want to build a system of record because we already have that, right? The data has to go in somehow, and it has to be accurate. So we have a lot of that. We have Salesforce, we have like HubSpot and other smaller CRMs, right? Viva, all these guys. These guys realize that, okay, knowledge work, sales guys, Salesforce, all these things that already exist is going to be like a very big challenge to build something that replaces them directly with Claude codes or some other software. And even if they were to build something, they have to rebuild what Salesforce has already built, right? Which didn't make sense. Like, how many years do they have? How many engineers will they need to accomplish something like this? So they realize that, okay, we have to plug and play. And that's what they did with Claude Cowork and stuff like that, where they have some plugin into what is the Salesforce chats app, Slack, which allows you to have like a colleague, as in a virtual colleague, which is Claude, and you can tag Claude, and they call it, I think, Claude tag or something like that. They can tag Claude and assign work to it. And Salesforce, on the other hand, has built all the backend, so you don't really need to use the UI anymore. They have a not only the API, but they also have the what is it called again? The AI server protocol thing that that basically tells the AI what it can do and what it cannot do. So they have built all that stuff so that the AI can easily speak to Salesforce backend, right? So you give it Claude, or you give it like ChatGPT, or you know, whatever, and it can easily, those agents can easily speak Salesforce language on the backend. So basically, as far as you know what you're doing, you can basically type in text into a chat box, and your work will be done for you on the back end. And Salesforce has built all that and integrated it with the AI. Instead of letting this guy disrupt it, it has made it possible so that they stay sticky. They, like, instead of a newer incumbent coming, and again, this newer incumbent is not going to be Anthropic, right? It is going to be a smaller company that is going to build some sort of Salesforce and put Anthropic on top of it, right? They are basically going to reimagine it. So instead of letting a smaller startup come in and disrupt that, Salesforce has decided, okay, let me disrupt myself. Let me integrate with Anthropic already, so that people don't need to migrate from me. The people will remain dependent on me. They'll still use my software. Maybe not in the same way as they were doing it before, but they will still have to rely on me on the back end, even if they are using Cloud. So what happened next is that companies have to decide if they want to use these new features, want to pay an extra bill to, Anthropic, and use all these AI features. But Salesforce will still get its revenue. That's the idea here, at least for now. I'm not saying, disruption is not going to happen, but these people are, Salesforce is kind of front running this disruption and trying to protect itself.
Which is a part of Salesforce, and now this combination is a way to gain something that's, it's 1 + 1 = 3, something that's bigger than the sum of its parts. And I think that's the right way to think about things.
Imagine being able to...
So that's about it. There was also an announcement on Twitter about this. But before we look into that, let's just look at the numbers. Revenue for Salesforce is up, is 11.3 billion. Came in right as at the same level as the estimation of 11.32 billion, so is up 11%. Adjusted EPS of 5.9 compared to estimate $3.27, which is a complete beat. Of 103%. Again, Salesforce have been buying a lot of shares. They borrowed like 50 billion or something like that to buy shares. So crazy stuff. GAAP EPS is $4.29, up 119%. CRPO 33.5 billion, up 14%. So they raised guidance for fiscal year 2027, revenue up 46.1 billion to 46.4 compared to an estimate of 46.11. It's slightly lower. Depends on where it falls, but we'll see, right? Because they gave us a range. Adjusted EPS between 16.67 to 16.71, beating the estimate of 14. GAAP operating margin 20%, non-GAAP operating margin 34%. Don't want to go through the rest. Let's read the comments here. AI is delivering value across every layer of our platform. We are seeing incredible demand for our AI and data products, with ARR about to cross 4 billion. So this guy, Mark, he is a very, very good salesman. He always trying to spin things, but I will have to look a little bit deeper into these numbers and what they are calling AI revenue, going ARR 4 billion. But again, they are doing a lot of work on their side. One of the things that they've done that other system of record marketing companies are trying to figure out right now, companies like HubSpot is having difficulty with. One of them is if you let Salesforce agent handle your some of your support, you only pay if the customer says, or the customer has been like really supported, like whatever the customer needed, the issue has been resolved on the customer side. So you only pay for that, because some of these users, some of these customers of Salesforce and other platforms, they don't want to pay for just AI generating stuff. They want to see real results. Like if I'm spending $5, I want to make sure that $5 is getting me something, not just like random text, right? So that's what Salesforce has figured out, and a lot of people are going to run into this as well. If you look at companies like Microsoft, Palantir, or even Salesforce, you now see that they are talking about forward deployed engineers who will be software engineers who basically go and talk to customers, get close to them a little bit more, learn about what is going on in their businesses, and see how they can actually deploy AI in order to actually help them gain some value, not just generate text, and do some random work. So those are the things that we need to be looking out for. But again, Salesforce going up today, after hours, about 12%, is a very, very good sign that the SaaSpocalypse was a very terrible thing that happened. And if you knew a little bit about software, you could have taken advantage of it. And I'm happy, I'm taking advantage of this. What is up? So let's read a little bit more into the Salesforce Anthropic partnership. They are calling it Cloudforce. So again, Mark Benioff, Salesforce CEO, he's a very weird guy. He likes naming things, and his way of naming things is always adding force at the end of them. They have Salesforce, now they have Cloudforce. At some point when he was trying to rebrand to AI, it was Agent Force. Everything is force with this guy, So let's read a little bit of this. Salesforce and Anthropic expanded their partnership with Cloudforce, a new cloud integration that lets sales team access Salesforce data and take action directly inside Cloud. So basically, and this is kind of the thing I was alluding to. Instead of a smaller startup coming and building this integration, they basically allow Claude to use these APIs, they call them MCP, right? Model Server Protocol, right? But again, these are just API. It tells the AI how to call these endpoints, basically. And instead of building a brand new product, you can just access the Salesforce stuff in Cloud. So basically, you might be able to log into Cloud and log into Salesforce from Cloud and use Salesforce from Cloud. So that's basically something like that they've built. We are yet to see how all this works out. But again, Cloud, these people know that they depend on them. Now about data, I don't know exactly the details of how the data is going to be managed between Claude or Anthropic and Salesforce. As a company, I wouldn't want that. I would rather have another harness and my own proprietary or third-party model, like those open source model, to use along with Salesforce, because I just don't like the way Anthropic operates. You know, the way they go about business is just very weird to me. It launches with 37 pre-built sales skills, including drafting emails and updating records. Yeah, like the same stuff that you used to do in Salesforce, you know, updating records in Salesforce and drafting emails. Yeah, you can draft some pretty good emails, I guess, from Claude. Claude Force is currently available to select pilot customers, with a broader preview planned for the next month, and more Salesforce and Slack integration coming up later this year. So let's see, there was a video about this. Let's see if we find that. Let me go to CRM Salesforce. Let's see. Here we have Salesforce.
And I work on our core product team at Salesforce. Today, I'm really excited to tell you about a new partnership that brings together the world's #1 CRM with the world's #1 AI. We're calling it Claudeforce. Salesforce and Claude is so easy to set up. In just a few simple clicks, all your Salesforce data is connected, and you and Claude can go to work. Every Monday morning, sales leaders have to decide where to focus, which deals need their attention, and what can they do to move them forward. Salesforce and Claude connects signals across my pipeline. It brings the most important opportunities right to the top. Uh-oh, this deal hasn't moved in 2 weeks. My sponsor, the CFO.
What do you see here? Like, you still see some sort of UI, right? It's just a different way of visualizing things. As someone who has worked at Salesforce before as a software engineer, I can tell you that Salesforce UI is super clunky, hard to use if you don't know, if you are looking at it for the first time. So I can see the value here where you use Claude to focus on exactly just what you need, not all the extra stuff that is in Salesforce. So yeah, I can see, you know, people use this more, but again, I don't know if this is slightly bearish for, you know, Salesforce, because its UI won't be as relevant, you know. And in the future, let's say like 3 years or 5 years from now, if people forget how to use your UI, you know, then there is this super dependency on Claude, where they don't know how to use Salesforce. They don't know how to even they might know how to log in, but that's about it. They don't know where to click. They always have to come to Claude and ask for stuff. So in the long run, I don't know if that is good. Salesforce will continue selling seats, right? People are saying stuff like you have to sell outcome. They're already doing that on other services, but those seats, like the sales people seats, they will still have to sell that, because one person can access Claude through their login, right? So that will still need to happen. But this super dependency on Claude is a little scary to me. If I were Salesforce, I'll build my own harness, which will be an independent app with an open source model, which will give customers exactly this.
Has gone quiet, and we're now at risk of missing our Q3 number. Salesforce and Claude can guide me how to win them back. It analyzes what is missing to advance the deal, and it reaches deep across Salesforce, Slack messages, and my email to find every angle. Then, it devises a detailed plan to re-engage the sponsor, the CFO. Salesforce in Claude summarizes a strategic plan in minutes that would normally take days and puts it into a concise update of my next steps. Then it prepares a draft that I can fire off to the customer with a tailored proposal and updated pricing. This is only possible because Claude is connected to the logic and trusted business context of Salesforce. It automatically updates the record. And the best part is, I never had to leave my flow of work. Just think of all the possibilities and what you'll be able to do when you have the full power of Salesforce right inside Claude. Review your pipeline, build an account plan, see which deals are slipping and why, find new leads, do anything and everything you could do in Salesforce faster than ever. You now have your own AI Chief Revenue Officer, thanks to Claude's intelligence and the data, workflows, and trust of Salesforce. That's CloudForce.
Yeah, like I said, having this super dependency on another company is very risky. Having Claude, which is a completely different company, being the interface, the UI for your product. I understand it now, but again, these AI labs, they are spending so much money, they have to find a way to make revenue. And these Claude, especially Anthropic, they are kind of sneaky. They've done this to, what is this company's name? Figma before, where they were working with Figma and then they ended up building a copycat of Figma inside Claude. So we want to avoid this, and if you give them enough time, they can build this and migrate customers to their own product. This is very, 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 very dangerous. It's very dangerous. In the short term, it's great for Salesforce because it is making it look like, oh, you know, it's doing deals and partnership. But in the long term, the way this is implemented, I don't like it. So, saying this, if the stock goes up like 50%, 60%, you know, my position goes up that way, I might sell it just to reduce my, my downside and protect my downside.
Hey, I'm Shannon, and I work on our core product team at Salesforce.
So what other company reported today? Let's see. Let's see, earnings week. So we have Salesforce, CrowdStrike. I don't own CrowdStrike. It has been too expensive for me, so I don't own it. But again, after hours is up 11%, so that's great for them. Yeah, has been just too expensive for me. OKTA I own. VEEV system up 9%. I own this as well. NVDIA, one of the most expected earnings today, up 5%, almost 5%. Yeah, I don't think I'll go through that, but we can look at VEEV, what happened over there. Before that, let's go through CNBC. Let me subscribe. Stock future. Let's see. Views, Meta settlement. I'm sure you've already heard about this. Intraday. So there is that. trying to see there. Let's look at Viva Systems. So Viva System up about 9%. Let's look at the results. Revenue is 928 million, beating estimate by 18%. Estimate were 905 million. Adjusted EPS $2.35, beating estimate by 18% as well. Estimate were $2.22. Non-GAAP operating income 415 million. Estimate was 395. Non-GAAP net income 387, beating estimates 365. So these companies were supposed to die, but as you can see, they are not dying. They are doing really well. Viva in particular is like one of the safer bets compared to Salesforce because it is operating in a vertical where there is a lot of policies and compliance that you have to follow, especially for drug discovery and stuff like that, pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. So you have to follow those compliance issues, right? And is much more difficult to embed those things into AI because basically you want to stay within the framework of the law, right? So there is that. Looking at forward fiscal year 2027 guide, they are estimating between 368 to 3.68 billion to 3.69, still beating estimates but very close. Non-GAAP operating income 1.64 billion compared to 1.61 billion, and adjusted estimates APS to 9.21 compared to $9.06 or $9.06. So let's read some of the comments here. Vault CRM has its best quarter ever, and Viva Falcon accelerated rapidly. So those are some of their products. They're also moving into the CRM vertical, competing with Salesforce, but in the life science industry. Second quarter result exceed guidance on all metrics and our view for full year improve across the board. Again, very, very good signal coming from the SaaS companies, especially tier 1 system of records companies like Viva, Salesforce, and who else is there? So we have OKTA. Yeah, that's about it. Let's look at Workday. Not sure actually if Workday is today. So let's hear.
It's an overblown narrative, and it's not true.
What's the narrative?
There's a narrative that.
It's very old. It's very old. see, earning hub. And work days tomorrow. Earning of 4 work days tomorrow. All right. Yeah, that's about it, guys. This was my first live. Let's see. So this is one of my portfolios. So you can see a lot of SaaS names here, right? And all of them are up apart from Google, Uber, Netflix, Apple, DoorDash. But they are not really like, they are down, but not that much. But if you look at OKTA, up 20%, CRM up 12 or 13%, VEEV 9%, Palo Alto 9%, HubSpot 3%, ServiceNow 3%, Zscaler 3%, Micron. Yeah, I think we are doing pretty well. So I can't really complain. Alright, so if you are watching this, thank you. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Alright, I'm out.